Obviously, bad text game can be a factor. You send 1 or 2 really bad texts, game over, right? Especially bad, needy texts. So that can definitely be the case. And then the other one is a lot of guys in text don't have a proper sequence of moving forward towards a close, essentially, right? I won't go in too much depth on this, but I will recommend a video to you guys, and then I'll give you the cliff notes here. There's a video I have on YouTube. I think it's called Texting 101 or something like that. But basically what I talk about is that there's basically 4 types of text you can receive, and each type of text is further or closer to sex. And the goal with each text that you're sending is to just get it a little bit closer. You're not trying to go from text 0 to text 4, or I guess text 1 to text 4, but whatever. You're not trying to go from 1 to the end. You're not trying to go from silence to close. That's an idiotic thing to do. You're not trying to go from shit test to close. You're trying to go from silence to shit test or better. You're trying to go from shit test to conversation or better. You're trying to go from conversation to positive or close. Does that make sense? But you're not trying to go everything all at once. You got to be patient. You got to interact, and you have to remember to flirt. If it gets too boring and too conversational, you kind of lose your momentum and it's gone, right? If you get too much like the needy, horny guy, you're gone. So it's that in between. What I like to say is that when things are going well, every text should have a little bit of a conversational element and a little bit of an escalating the set element. So it's casual, conversational, normal, a little normality, and then a little bit of flirtation, or a little normality and a little bit of moving it towards the close. Right? When things are going well. When things are going badly, then you either have to just get her attention back, or you have to pass whatever shit test she's sending your way. So that's cliff notes on a lot of that. The most common reason for silence is just staleness or boredom. Okay? Just because like you've been texting back and forth for a while, nothing's transpired, there's other shit going on in her life, and you just have become less of a priority. Yeah. You've moved to the back burner. That's probably the number one reason you get silence. Number 2 reason you get silence is you did something dumb. You sent like a really dumb, bad text, or you tried to close way too fast or something like that. And then number 3 reason you get silence is weird random shit or oversight or technical malfunction or who the fuck knows, right? Weird stuff happens. I've had situations where you text a girl and she literally lost her phone and like didn't get your text for God knows how long or whatever, and who knows. Okay, that's actually happened. And then when I text a girl randomly, just like out of due diligence later, she's like, "Oh my God, I'm so glad you texted. I thought you were never gonna." I'm like, "What the fuck? I texted you before." Yeah. Right? Or I had one where like I texted a girl something and she like didn't respond at all, and I texted her question marks as in like response, and she goes question mark, because she just like fully just didn't receive that text for some weird technical glitch. Right? So that can happen. It's rare. That's the least likely. The least likely of all scenarios, but the point is any fucking thing can happen, right? Or the girl goes up like camping in the woods and doesn't get your text for 3 days. That actually does happen every once in a while. Again, very rare, but it happens, right? So the point is you have to kind of assess a little bit why silence is happening. Think about why you think silence is happening and react accordingly. So if silence is happening because, if silence is happening in some dumb way when things are already going well, your reaction to silence actually should be to be entitled and just call her out, like maybe in a funny way. Right, so a lot of times when the interaction is going really well, you're about to make plans, she's even agreed to the plans, like she's like, let's hang out Tuesday, she's like, yeah, that'd be totally cool. Like, cool, what time do you get out of work? And just silence. What the fuck? Doesn't make any sense, right? So in that case, you've made no social error. You did the most natural social thing possible. She was very positive right up until that moment. If you go all the way back to square one, I'm gonna send like a meme of a cat or some shit like that, that's stupid, right? What you do in that case, you go like question mark, or ... or something like that, but hello, are you alive, right? In that case, that makes sense.
But tell
right?
How recent will you do that? Will you wait?
I'm not sending that 5 minutes after my text. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's once it's clearly like been awkwardly long. So like say for example, we're making plans for that night and we're texting back every 3-4 minutes, and then the plans are 3 hours from now, it's been an hour and a half. You might be like ... like what happened? You just disappeared in the middle of the conversation. More often it'll be a situation where like you're responding, you know, a couple times a day or once a day or something like that, and then it goes a couple days and you're just like, wait, what the fuck? Right? But it's not like you text and then she doesn't text for 5 minutes, you're like, wait, what the fuck? Respond. That's super needy. Okay? So that's when you've done nothing wrong. That's when like everything's good, there's no reason she shouldn't have responded, etc. If you have done something wrong, now you have interesting situations. You have to figure out kind of what you did wrong. Did you do like, were you too ballsy and over the top? In which case you might be like, LOL, was obviously kidding, but anyway, and just try and play it off and continue the conversation as normally as you can. If you like were over bold or made some kind of mistake like that, right? If you maybe tried to close where you shouldn't have, in that case, maybe you kind of like change the subject with something interesting and get the conversation going again, and then don't try and close for a little bit until it's good, right? If things just got boring and flat, like it's too much conversation, you might do something instigating, like something with a little hook. You wouldn't believe I saw the funniest thing today. It reminded me of you, just to resuscitate the conversation, right? So you could try something that's a little bit of a hook in that case. So it's a little bit of a finesse. The other thing you can do off of semi-silence is just send value, like send what the equivalent of like a social media post or social media update would be. And also, this silence thing is a good reason why exchanging social media with the number is a good idea, right? Because if she's on your Snapchat or your Instagram or something like that, and she's getting your updates, and you can tell she's watching your updates, even if she's not responding, you know you're still in her life, you know she still cares, and it gives you a lot more to work with, and it also is keeping you more relevant for her, right? So that's a very good thing to have.